So if I were going to tell you as a beginner 3 things that you needed to master in playing guitar, they are making clean chords, rhythm strumming, and chord changes. Those 3 things, as a beginner, you have to kind of get comfortable with those 3 things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you what a chord diagram looks like, and we're going to make our first chord. Now, some of you guys might know this chord, but I wanted to show you a special technique in order to be able to do it. So an E minor looks like this. You take your first finger and place it on the 5th string on the 2nd fret, and your middle finger, and you put that on the 4th string on the 2nd fret. Just go ahead and strum. Now there's different ways to be able to make it, but I'm going to show you how to make this chord and how to easily transition into another chord. Now, if you're learning how to play E minor, and if you've never done it before, your E minor might sound something like this. So let's look at the chord diagram real quick, and let's see what's open and what's closed. So when you look at a chord diagram, at the top of the diagram is the nut. So it's this thing on the guitar. And when you're looking at the diagram, typically it's in a position, in a vertical position. And that vertical position will tell you that this is the top of the guitar, this is the 1st fret, 2nd and 3rd. And the notes that you need to press down with your fingers are the numbers that are actually being and correspond to the diagram. So if you notice in E minor, the 1st string is open, it would be an O, and then closed, and it'll tell you, remember, that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and your thumb would be T. So we're looking at it, we see 1 and 2. We know that we put our position, we get it right, we make it match, and we go ahead and strum it. Now when you do strum it, what happens is, if you're not used to making the guitar chord, that specifically that E minor that we're making right now, it might sound like this. Now to your ear, you might, well, that sounded pretty good, but listen very closely. We'll play each individual note and notice what happens. What is that? That buzzing, that's telling me that I'm not making the chord properly. So if I were to press down a little harder using my middle finger, and now I'd make the E minor, now it's nice and clean. That's a really quick way for beginners to figure out whether or not you're making the chord correctly, is to play each individual note of the chord matching the chord diagram. So now we have the chord, we're making that chord nice and clean. The second thing you would need to do is to be able to play in rhythm. So let's say we're going to play a song in 4/4. All that means is there's 4 beats in a measure, or 4 beats in the bar. I'll count out to 4 and we'll strum on 1. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that counting that I'm doing is actually happening with the rest of the band that you're playing with, or the people who are singing along with you. There's that beat in the song. Now that beat is important for you to be able to do the next thing, which is you have to be able to master, have to get better at. And I'm going to show you another chord. It's called an A sus2. And all you have to do is move your fingers down 1 string. So from the E minor position, just move your index finger and your middle finger, the 1 and 2, down 1 string. And don't play the top E for now, just play starting on the 5th string, strum down, and that is an A sus2. So we'll try it again. Now going back to the rhythm strumming, let's just count out to 4 and we'll play that A sus2 on the 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when you're strumming with your pick or with your finger, whatever you have, make sure that you're not like digging into the guitar, that you're actually painting the notes. So if you ever painted the wall, you don't just shove the paintbrush on the wall and really hard. You actually kind of go up the wall and then come down with the paintbrush. The same thing as with your hand. You're painting the notes on, so you're going down. It's nice and even in the strumming. Your wrist is nice and loose. Your elbow is loose, your shoulder is nice and loose, because if you're too tight, your body will respond. Because playing the guitar is a very physical instrument. So you want to make sure you have good posture, make sure that you're able to sit upright, and then when you're playing, it's nice and comfortable for you. All right, so those are the 3 things that you need to know. Be able to make clean chords, be able to play in rhythm, and to be able to make chord changes. So I'm going to put both of those chords together, and we're going to do it in that same type, it's that same strumming pattern, just down on the 1. We're going to play the E minor twice, and then we're going to play the A sus2 twice. So E minor, so 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 1, E minor, count all the way to 4, come back to 1, play E minor again. Then we're going to transition to the next chord, because it's right there, to A sus on the 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come back to the 1 and then finish. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, E minor. 2, 3, 4, E minor. 2, 3, 4, A sus. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now, what you might have noticed is that I transitioned very quickly from the E minor to the A sus, and that's what you need to be able to master. Be able to transition from one chord to the next. And doing so will help you out tremendously, especially if you're learning songs. Always start out slow and work your way up a little bit more, and you can get faster and faster. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. We'd love to be able to help you out even further. Go ahead and subscribe if you like this channel, like the content that we're putting out there. I really appreciate your feedback. So I'll play you guys out on this 2 chords. I'll use a different strumming pattern, and you can do some cool stuff with just 2 chords. Check it out. See you guys next time.